With the announcement of Gears Tactics and the evolution of the Horde mode within Gears 5 transforming gameplay into something of a hero shooter, along with the fantastic inclusion of multimedia characters, I thought it would be fun to run down a list of guest characters that could make for a fun gameplay experience. But first, let's explain the rules. Okay, so in Gears 5's Horde mode, each character is assigned a weapons loadout, a class, an ultimate ability that needs to be charged up over time to grant them some form of buff or other ability during gameplay. They each also possess a passive ability that is in constant effect over the course of the game, and each character has access to several skill cards to grant additional boons during gameplay. For this list, I've decided that I'll make two variations of each character. I will go over what class I think they should be, what loadout they would have, and I will also assign them an ultimate and passive ability. Each character will receive an ultimate that already exists within the game, as well as a completely made up one. Their passive ability will be whatever is typically assigned to that specific class. I won't be covering skill cards as I don't want the video to take up too much time, but I will touch on some possible skins and outfits for each character. Now then, let's get on with the list.
Hop in!
So starting off, we have the face of the Metal Gear series, Solid Snake. A strong and hardy soldier, Snake is often known for his skills in stealth and infiltration. With that said, the first class and ultimate abilities I think could fit him really well would be the class of a scout, and Kate's cloak as an ultimate. Both of these fit the theme of Snake's proficiency at stealth really well. For his own personal abilities, I decided to make him a support class with an ultimate that allows him to call in a massive ammo and weapons crate. For loadouts, the Mark II Lancer Assault Rifle and Longshot Sniper grant a solid amount of range and firepower, along with a Talon or Stub Pistol as a trusty sidearm. For skins, we could use both Old and Young Snake, Big Boss, and hell, why not throw Raiden in there too? With all of these abilities, Solid Snake would make a fine addition to the Gears 5 roster.
You know how expensive this gear is, son?
Tell that to the Covenant.
I honestly feel like this guy has the best chance of getting into the game out of all characters on this list, given how Gears and Halo are often viewed as rival franchises, and the fact that Kat and Emil from Halo Reach have already made their mark on the game, and are both really fun to play as. For his class, his abilities as an absolute bulldozer on the battlefield led me to immediately assigning him the class of offense, along with JD's ultimate that allows him to call in a mortar strike. Given how much of a souped up badass Master Chief is, I decided that his second class should be that of a tank. For his ultimate, I thought it would be cool as F to see John pull out an energy sword and just let the player go to town on the swarm. The Breaker Mace is a really overpowered weapon to use, and so letting Master Chief use his own unique melee weapon would be epic. For weapons, I decided to go with all out firepower, granting him the Lancer grenade launcher, the full auto Talon pistol, and the overkill shotgun. Skins was tricky, but I thought a simple recoloring of his armour, or maybe giving him his own unique version of a Gears armour, would suffice. With all of these abilities, John could decimate the swarm.
Christmas come early, boys! We got us some mass murdering piece of shit out there waiting on us to deliver some reparation.
One thing that Gears of War is known for is its over-the-top violence and the humour that comes along with it. These traits were also implemented into the masterpiece known as BULLETSTORM. Voiced by the legendary Steve Bloom, BULLETSTORM's protagonist Grayson Hunt is an arse-kicking, over-the-top space soldier with an affinity for overpowered weapons and humour. Given how Hunt's game encourages aggressive gameplay, I figured the first class to go with would be offense. Again with JD's mortar strike to obliterate enemies. For the unique ability, I had some fun and went with the class of Scout, and decided to give Grayson access to his signature weapon, the Energy Leash, which allows him to latch onto foes at a distance and fling them towards him. Just imagine if Scorpion from Mortal Kombat was a Space Marine, and you get the idea.
Get over here!
Weapons wise, I went with the Retro Lancer, the Bolt-Op pistol, and decided to bring back the sawed-off shotgun. Strong weapons that all cause tremendous damage. Given how BULLETSTORM sadly has only one entry, and Grayson's appearance doesn't change throughout the story at all, skins were hard to think of, but I did come up with an alternate skin that could transform him into his best friend Ishii, a comrade who was transformed into a half cyborg in order to save his life. As a man who has saved the world from the undead several times over, Chris Redfield is a perfect fit for taking on the horrors that lurk within the hives of the swarm. As zombies are best dealt with by headshots, I felt it appropriate to first give Chris the class and ultimate of Marcus Phoenix, a tank with the ability to fire off automatic headshots. For his own abilities, I went with the class of offense, and decided that his ultimate should grant him incendiary ammo to burn his enemies, granting him extra damage for the power's duration. For his loadout, I went with a mixture of standard yet powerful weaponry, these being the Lancer grenade launcher, a snub pistol, and a Nasher shotgun. For skins, we could have Chris in both his stars and military uniforms, and why not throw in the option to swap him out for Leon Kennedy as well. Chris Redfield is a persevering soldier that would prove a tough nut to crack, even for the most fearsome of monsters.
Don't get in my way.
Of course a Star Wars character had to appear on the list. Boba Fett is neither hero or villain, but when money is involved, you can bet that he'll fight by your side, for the right price. As a standard class and ultimate, I went with the role of a scout, and Farz's heat vision ability, which grants the player the ability to see and shoot enemies through walls, much like how Boba's helmet grants him the ability to see clearly in several different environments. For his class and own ultimate, let's make an offense-based character and have him fly around the map on his jetpack, and pull out his signature EE3 carbine rifle with increased damage. Weaponry could go along the lines of the Mark II Lancer assault rifle, a bolt-on pistol, and why not bring back the Scorcher flamethrower, just like the one he and his father used on their wrists. Come on Coalition, we need this beast to be brought back. Skins are easy. We can have standard Boba, helmetless Boba, we could also have Jango Fett, and hell, we could even throw in the Mandalorian. As the most feared bounty hunter in the galaxy, Boba Fett would no doubt have the swarm shaking in their boots.
Come with me if you want to live.
It's okay, Mom. He's here to help. It's okay.
I know we've already got the T-800 skeleton in multiplayer, but I want to see the human-like versions in Horde. For an initial class, I think we have to go with the role of a tank, as that's pretty much what these guys are. We can also give them Marcus's headshot ability, as this actually ties into a Terminator's ability to calculate precise shots. For his own abilities, we'll go with an offense-based class and ultimate that allows him to make use of one of Skynet's plasma-based miniguns, allowing the player to go ham like when using a tri-shot or mulcher. Loadout wise, we can go with a Retro Lancer, a Nasher shotgun, as well as a bolt-on pistol, weapons that carry similar properties to those the Terminators have used in the movies. Skins are both easy and obvious. We can simply give the player the option to play as the different versions that Arnold has portrayed over the course of the franchise. The Swarm would soon realise their mistake once they tangle with these cybernetic monstrosities.
Hail to the king, baby!
Out of all the characters on this list, I feel that Duke Nukem is the best fit as a guest character. The Duke Nukem series shares many elements with Gears of War, such as crude humour and extreme violence, and Duke's persona and physique suit both. For the King's first class, I decided to go with the role of offense, naturally awarding him JD's Mortar Strike. For his own abilities, we could also go with offense again, or even a tank, and allow him to pull out the Ripper Cannon. This weapon is my personal favourite in Duke's arsenal, and I mean, how can you not like a massive machine gun with 3 barrels? Duke possesses a wide assortment of weapons, and so his loadout can honestly be very flexible. I decided to go with the Hammer Burst for the sake of mixing things up, not to mention it shows off Duke's affinity for using the enemy's weapons against them. Then to follow up, we also have the Nasher Shotgun and Bolt-Arc. When it came to skins, I was a bit stumped at first, but then I remembered that Duke has several games in which he fights his alien enemies through different time periods, and his outfit changes depending on the location and era, so let's go with that. This way we can have skins like Scuba Duke, Roman Duke, and even Cowboy Duke. With all of these abilities and weapons, Duke Nukem will be able to kick a whole lot of swarm arse and chew a whole heap of bubblegum.
Looks like you got my invitation. Just you and me. Come on!
Just like Boba Fett, Deathstroke is neither hero nor villain, but when the fate of the world is at stake, you can bet that DC's super soldier assassin will stand ready to defend the planet. Slade Wilson is a really well-rounded character, so I feel like he has the most amount of options available. To start off, we could make Slade a scout focusing on long-range combat, granting him either Marcus's headshot power or Farz's heat vision. Honestly, both work just as well for a marksman as reputable as Slade. For his own powers, I had some fun and decided to give Slade his personal staff. Much like Master Chief's use of the energy sword, it would grant Deathstroke increased melee damage, but we could also let Slade make use of its energy-based attacks. This way, you have both close range and distance-based options. Skins are both simple and plentiful to choose. We can have New 52 Deathstroke, Injustice Deathstroke, Maskless Deathstroke, and even Classic Deathstroke. For weapons, let's go with a Lancer grenade launcher, an M-bar sniper rifle, and a trusty snub pistol for the sidearm. The Swarm will soon regret their choice to tangle the world's greatest assassin when he brings these skills to the table.
New York City. Forget the things you've heard about the place. About the New York.
If I could have only one character from this list added into the game, you can bet that my all-time favourite fictional character would be my choice. Frank Castle, aka the Punisher, has had many fantastic showings over his years, and I'll be honest, I kinda made him a bit OP, but hey, what are you gonna do? For starters, I initially made Frank a tank with Lizzie's Silverback Ultimate, allowing the player to call in a literal walking tank. This was actually inspired by the fact that Frank has donned the War Machine armor in recent years. Secondly, I took a page out of his namesake game released in 2004, and simply gave him the same power as in that game. In the Punisher game, the player has the ability to activate a form of Rage Mode, making Frank pull out a pair of knives, granting instant one-hit kills when up close, as well as the ability to automatically throw them at a distance, with each successful hit restoring a portion of health. Too much for Gears? I don't care. Gears has always been over the top, and so making a character over the top is what I feel would make them the most fun to play as. Weapons wise, I've gone with a Mark II Lancer, a Talon Auto Pistol, and a Boom Shot, for a combination of full auto and explosive power. I'll admit, I've gone a bit crazy with skins. Firstly, we can give Frank every costume he has within his personal game, along with War Machine Frank from the comics, and let's also make skins resembling all of the badass actors who have portrayed this ass-kicking vigilante.
Every muzzle flash means one more monster gone.
You are but one man. They are no longer your people to save.
While I think that Master Chief has the best chance of fitting into the game, or Duke Nukem fits the best, along with wanting the Punisher the most, this character is the one that inspired this list, and he is honestly the one I think deserves this spot more than anyone else. I mean, how can the Doomslayer, the guy who is a reimagined version of the original Doom guy, not a worthy entry? We're starting strong and with no nonsense by making the Slayer a tank. In keeping with his near indestructible armour, the Doomslayer can take as much damage as he dishes out. For his first ultimate, what better way to decimate his enemies than with a mortar strike? For his personal powers, let's grant him a role of offense and have him pull out a Doom Berserk power-up and just go absolutely nuts on every enemy in the vicinity, one-hit punching them back to their hives. Or if you want to go over the top, why not have him pull out the BFG? Blasting apart a large group of drones with massive charges of green plasma would kick all kinds of ass. For his loadout, let's go with the sawed-off shotgun, as such a weapon is so iconic to the Slayer. Let's also go with a bolt-up for portable heavy damage, and a Lancer grenade launcher, as it shares various qualities with the Slayer's personal heavy assault rifle. For skins, we've obviously got to go with the 2016 version of the character, along with his Doom Eternal incarnation, And of course the set wouldn't be complete without a classic Doom Guy skin. With all of these abilities, the Doomslayer would certainly be able to bring literal hell to the Swarm's hive. And there you have it guys, my list on the 10 characters I would most like to see as playable characters in Gears 5. If you have your own list, be sure to share it, as I would love to hear your responses and ideas. Well, that's enough from me for today, so until the next video, be sure to follow me on Twitter, shoot that like button if you enjoyed, and until next time, have a great day.